Hello everyone. Okay, so we'll be using the YouTube to so to send this, so you can use the link once you see that to access what we have for the series, right? So the first video has been sent. Now, by way of recap, we're trying to in the first video that wasn't playing right, but we fixed that already. So what I was trying to say there is that okay, in this tutorial we're going to be going through every single thing that makes for the concept of Bootstrap or the idea of Bootstrap, right? So um, the idea behind it is to ease or fasten your building of a responsive site. Responsive site, um, by that we mean a site that adapts to the different devices you have. Okay, so a lot of things play out to have that excellently well. But then Bootstrap is a framework, and you need to know the best framework for front end that covers CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. That being said, I've talked about container and container fluid, and I stated the difference between the two. We're going to be using that because in them you're going to be having your grid, right? The grid system and the rest of all those, the columns, your row. Those concepts are going to be further explained when we talk about the breakpoints and the rest. Now, to call the function is quite simple. To call the bootstrap function to your lab is quite simple. It's either you use the CDN, the npm, or what, or download the package totally. We did that in the last class. So if you copy the CDN to your lab, um, control you paste it here, right? So you have all the functionalities for Bootstrap are going to work now because, or it's going to work now because you've used the CDN to call the functions in, right? So here, you want to talk about the button, right? So let's have H1 element that explains, or that talks about that, right? So examples of buttons. Now here, the characters we're going to be choosing will be the colors and the rest. So if you want rounded corners or the rest of all those functionalities like it was talked I talked about, or I taught you in CSS and the rest, you can style it, right? It's the same thing, right? So here we have the the default button, right? So how do you call these buttons up? How do you call these buttons up is the question we want to answer now. So okay, quickly, we have button dot, the email function works here. Remember I told you the btn, we set the btn dash what, default. Okay, so this is going to give us, all right, let's just type it in directly. Button times, let's say times 4. Let's look at the types. Times 6. Okay, for each one, we'll talk about the button. Yeah, sorry, I'm taking time to do all this so that you also are seeing. You're not quite familiar with Emet, you can watch a video on that. Right, so here, let's give it a class of what, the default. Okay, so class of the default, we have btn btn dash default, because there's such a thing as the default kind of a thing. The color is not going to be obvious, so let's have this. class of um, button dash what primary as a color. Let's have the same for class for button. This is how you call your button function. Button. Which other color do you have? So, um, button dash. Okay, danger. And let's check this one and see if we're having something that looks pretty different from another. Right. So hello, what examples of button? All this. Okay, so it's displaying. So we're having buttons here now. Not to worry, you can style this to what you want. Okay, you can keep giving colors to each of these till you finish the main tree. Right. So this is how you can call the button to the Bootstrap space when you're working with it. Right. It's beyond this. We are going to talk extensively about it again in the next video. Right. We'll see other examples again and how they look. Probably style some to give us a different look also. Right. So with that, I think we've achieved the M for this one. Let's quickly move to the next. Right.